Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, and I'm back with another quick card. And for my quick card today, I'm using the delightfully Eclectic DSP, and I'm using this pattern because we're going to cut this paper and use both sides of it. Now, there are some great patterns in this pattern pack, and let me bring in a few of the other ones that would work well with this sort of technique. So there's a lot of patterns in this pack that have got a good other side that will work well together with, so you can show both sides essentially. We've got this one that's got the sort of lemons on one side and daisies on the other. And again, the reason why they work well together is the colours that are used. So we've got the swans with the black pattern on the other. This one is great because you can even cut out the letters if you want to and use them, and then you've just got these little spots of colour with the bubble bath pink. They're good fun. Then we've got these which have got the flowers on the other side. This is the one that I'm using. And then we've got the strawberries with, again, it's that bubble bath pink that is in use. So there's other patterns as well, but some of the other patterns have got, for example, more of a sort of scrapbook note paper other side to them. But again, it's a large paper pack, and it is on offer just this month during June with 15% off. And let me just draw attention to the size of the pack. So this is a large pack and it's got 48 sheets, so you get 4 each of the 12 designs that are in there. And you can see there's other ones as well. This one I'm going to be using on Wednesday. So those are the patterns that are in there. And so it's a great pack to share with a friend if you want to. It's also a great pack if you're wanting to make lots of multiples. So the same card, identical, you can get a lot out of one pack. So like I say, we're going to be using this one today, and I've got a fresh Freesia card base, portrait card base, and I've got my card front layer that we're going to cut. And so I've also just cut a skinny strip. I've not even measured the width. It is just a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't really matter how wide it is. It's just a little cut off that I've got from some other project that we're going to pop over the join here when we've cut it. And I've used, let me bring them in, the Something Fancy dies, these two, to create labels, sentiment labels for the card front. But of course you could just do this with rectangles of card as well. So it's a nice easy one to do. So I'm now going to cut my card front, and the main thing here is just to make sure that I leave it wide enough for these labels to go on here. So I'm actually going to do it at 1 1/4 inches. And one of the things that I wanted to, that was why I'd kept the paper, let me show you. Just be a little careful when you're cutting the paper. I wanted to make sure that my design was this direction rather than this direction. I actually wanted those. So just work out which way you want that design to run, and cut from that side if you need to, so that you know that you've got it running the right direction. These flowers don't really have a direction to them, so it will work whatever way around you do it. So I'm going to cut that at 1 1/4 inches, like that. And now we're going to flip these over and adhere them to the card front. Because I'm going to sort of slide these about, that's going over that way, and I'm going to pop it that way up. Because I'm going to want to be able to just slide these slightly to make sure they're in place, I'm going to use Matombo multi-purpose liquid glue. So let's pop this on, and that just gives me that little bit of slide time, as I call it, to be able to slide the DSP into place. Just have a thin ribbon of glue around the outer edges and a little bit in the centre to anchor it, and then I'm going to pop it on and just slide it until these margins are about even. And then we're going to do the same on this one. And if you're not quite happy with it, because we've got that skinny strip of card that's going to go over the join, if you need to, just leave a little bit between or overlap them, whichever you need to do. So I'm going to just overlap those very slightly to make sure that that has got a reasonable amount on that other side. And then, like I say, we can just put this skinny strip over. It means you don't have to be precise here. If you've got a little bit of a gap or a bit of an overlap, either one is fine, because we're going to cover it up. So I'll just slide that off, and I'm going to pop that into position over the edges, and then I'm just going to use my grid paper to get that straight, because you can see it wasn't actually straight. So that looks about right. I've got a little bit of glue coming out there, so I'll put a bit too much on just there, and there we are. So for my sentiment, I'm using the where are we? The Charming Sentiment Super Fantastic Mega News to make this into a congrats card. And where's my mat? Grab a mat. And even though this is a little bit sun damaged, it works perfectly well. So I'm going to stamp that on there like that with my Memento black, so it makes it just fresh Freesia black and white. So I'm going to just blur these two labels up together, like that, and grab some dimensionals to go on the back here. If you want to fancy it up further with some gems or sequins or something like that, of course you can. But like I say, this will work with so many of those patterns in that DSP, in the Delightfully Eclectic DSP pack. So you can choose to pop it there, or you could pop it there. Actually, I think I like that. I'm going to go with that. There we are. So, but this is it. You've got choices. So that is our quick card for today. I hope that, like I say, has given you a few ideas for some of the other patterns that you could use in this pattern pack, but most people have got black and white card to be able to certainly use this one. You would need some fresh Freesia, but having said that, you could do the same thing with a black or white card base, so, and that would work great as well. Please do subscribe to my channel below to see a quick card like this every Monday, quick tips on a Friday, and thank you for stopping by.